Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making some cookies. Now, I did see a recipe on joyofbaking.com for some molasses cookies, but I'm going to do them using Black Treacle, which is very similar to molasses, and it's going to have in it some ground cloves, some cinnamon and some ginger, as well as dark brown sugar, which is also quite heavily flavoured with molasses basically. And so we'll go on to the ingredients, and they are 113 grams of softened butter, 260 grams of plain flour with 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. And I'm going to put all of those into the flour straight away. We'll mix those in a minute. Then I have 200 grams of dark brown sugar. Now, in the UK, dark brown sugar tends to look darker than you can get in the USA, so maybe light brown sugar would be okay in the UK. I don't know, but I'm going to use the dark one. I'm going to put that in with the butter because we're going to cream that together. Then I have 2 tablespoons of oil, 1 medium egg, which would be large in the USA, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 80 millilitres of black treacle. So the first thing I'm going to do is to cream the eggs with the butter until they're nice and fluffy. That's going to take a bit of a time. You could do this in a stand mixer, but I'm going to do it with my hand mixer and see how we get on. Okay, so I've creamed that. My sugar is actually a little bit hard, so it took a little bit of creaming. And just while I get on to the next bit, I'm going to stir those spices into the flour. So the next thing I want to do is to put the egg into the mixture and the black treacle. Now, I did grease this cup so that the treacle comes out that little bit easier, and it has come out quite well, but I'm just going to scrape that last little bit out, and that will be fine. And I'm going to put the vanilla extract in, and I'm going to mix those together as well. Then I'm going to put the 2 tablespoons of oil in, and I'm going to beat that until it's all combined. I'm just going to scrape the bowl down to get some of the dark mixture incorporated, and you may still have a few lumps of sugar, but that really doesn't matter very much, because as the cookies bake, the sugar will melt down. So the last thing to do is to put the flour mixture in and beat that until it's all combined. I'm going to scrape that bowl down again just to get the flour off the edge and get that incorporated. Now, as you can see, our mixture is quite soft, so what we're going to have to do is to refrigerate it for 2 to 3 hours to get it firm, so that we can then shape it for our cookies. Okay, so that's our dough, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into another bowl, cover it with plastic wrap and refrigerate it for 3 hours. And I'm going to have to bake the cookies in batches, because this will make probably 34 to 36. So that's it for this step. I'm going to cover this with cling film, put it in the fridge for 3 hours, and then I will be back with you and we'll shape it. I should say that I have 2 baking trays lined with parchment paper ready, and I'll preheat the oven when I come back. I will do that at 190 Celsius or 170 Celsius with a fan, 375 Fahrenheit. That will then be ready to take our cookie dough and bake our cookies. So I'll be back with you to shape them a bit later on. Right, so I'm back with you now, and it's been rather longer than 3 hours because I had something else to do, but our cookie dough has firmed up in the fridge, and what I'm going to do is to roll it into balls, roll it in some granulated sugar and place it on our baking tray, and then I'm going to bake it. I have the oven preheating, as I mentioned earlier, at 190 Celsius, 170 Celsius with a fan, 375 Fahrenheit. So let's get on with the rolling. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a weighing scale and weigh out about 20 grams of dough each time. Into a bowl. Just like that, and then roll it to coat it in the granulated sugar and put it onto our baking tray. Now you want to leave a gap of a couple of inches probably between each ball, so that the dough has room to spread. Okay, so I've rolled out 20 balls so far, because as I said earlier, we'll have to bake them in batches. And I have a glass in my hand, and I'm just going to flatten each of my balls a little bit. Like that. And then I'm going to bake them in the oven for 9 to 10 minutes. And they will still be soft when they come out, but I'll let them cool down on the baking tray for a few minutes before transferring them to a wire rack to cool completely. I bake the other batches, then I'll be back with you to show you how they are and what they taste like. Okay, so I'm back with you now, and I've baked our cookies, and here they are. As you can see, they're nice and crinkly on the top, and just about that thickness there. And they're crispy on the outside and chewy in the middle, so I'll give one a try. That's very good. It has that rich molasses flavour, and the nice chewy centre, and then the hit of the spices, the cinnamon, ginger and cloves. Ideal for coming up to the Christmas season, so I'll be making them again as we get nearer to Christmas, I'm sure. Well, that's going to be it for today. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm very pleased today because as I woke up this morning, I checked my subscribers and I've passed 150 for the first time. So that's very good for me. I'm very happy about that. Hopefully get some more in the months to come. And so I will, I should say, in the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye where you can click to get to the recipe, and I'll also put a link below the video that you can click on to see the recipe. And I will be back with you in the very near future with another recipe. So until then, happy baking.